Hello and welcome. I am Vidyadhar Tirak. In this video, we trace the extraordinary natural lineage that leads from primordial chemistry to the rise of conscious carbon holons, the Psi-Sapes. This is the story of how matter learned to sense, to model, to remember, and eventually to know itself. Imagine the early Earth. A world of volcanic oceans, dense clouds, lightning storms, and hypothermal winds. This was not chaos but opportunity. Energy flowed continuously through chemical systems, driving reactions that formed amino acids and other organic precursors. Experiments like Miller-Urey demonstrated that it's the building blocks that arise naturally when the right conditions converge. Abiogenesis was not an accident, it was an emergent transition where matter first began maintaining structure and exploiting energy. These protosystems embodied the earliest seeds of agency. The major scientific narratives map this origin. The replicator-first hypothesis positions RNA as life's earliest architect, both storing information and catalyzing reactions. The metabolism-first view imagines networks of reactions forming first, especially in material-rich vent systems and underground hotspots where superheated mineral-laden fluids gush from the seafloor, creating metal-rich deposits and supporting unique life. Increasingly, scientists see these pathways as co-evolving. Replicators needed metabolic scaffolds, and metabolic cycles gained stability from emerging replication. Life emerged from their interplay, not their isolation. We meet the first true precursor of agency, autocatalytic networks. These systems reinforced themselves, created chemical memory, and generated variation through imperfect copying. Natural selection began acting long before DNA. When DNA eventually stabilized hereditary memory, evolution accelerated. Molecular loops became biological lineages, acquiring the capacity to sense, to respond, and to adapt. Early cells detected chemical gradients, performing simple comparisons across time. When multicellularity signaling cells formed, the disturbed nerve cells enabled coordinated behavior. Then bilaterally emerged, requiring directional processing, and this pressure created brains. Over time, natural architectures layered upon one another. Reptilian reflexes, limbic emotions, and mammalian cortical reasoning. Consciousness did not appear suddenly; it emerged from an evolutionary push towards better models of the world. The figure highlights the evolution of the self. Introception mapped inner states, extroception mapped the outer world. Social animals evolved social selves, anticipating the behavior of others. And with language, humans form narrative selves, autobiographical continuities that bind past, present, and future. Self models are not metaphysical substances, but dynamic constructs created by the brain. Conscious experience arises from their integration. We turn to predictive processing, the dominant scientific model of consciousness today. The brain constantly predicts sensory input and updates those predictions based on incoming signals. Perception becomes a controlled hallucination guided by expectations. Consciousness in this framework is the brain's highest level of predictive synthesis of body, world, memory, and social cues. Prediction creates stability, error drives learning. The figure introduces integrated information theory in the left circle and the global neuronal workspace in the right circle. IIT uses the measure phi to quantify how integrated a system's information is, linking structure to phenomenology. JNW describes how information becomes conscious when it enters a global broadcast network in the brain. One theory explains the what it is like, and the other explains how it became available. Together, they form a complementary scientific account of conscious experience. We shift from neuroscience to philosophy. The Upanishads saw consciousness as the fundamental reality. Sankhya proposed a dualism between awareness and material nature. Buddhism analyzed consciousness as a dynamic, interdependent process without fixed self. These traditions were not primitive, they were early phenomenologists articulating experiential truths long before modern science. In pragmasophy, they enrich rather than compete with biological accounts. Now comes the emergence of Psi-Sapes. These are the highest order natural carbon holons, humans, who combine biological complexity with cultural and symbolic evolution. Through language and shared memory systems, Psi-Sapes generate knowledge snippets, truths, facts, morals, and norms, and co-creation snippets, intent, action, conscience, and prudence. More importantly, they externalize memory through tools, institutions, and artifacts. Culture becomes an evolutionary force stronger and faster than genes. Concepts are not defined merely by their biology but by their ex-somatic reach. We have journeyed from the chemistry of early Earth to the self-reflecting cognition of Siceps. Tracing 4 billion years of natural experimentation is a experience in itself. In the next video, we turn to a very different lineage, silicon-based synthetic agents engineered rather than evolved. Understanding their design and their diversion from carbon consciousness will illuminate the possibilities and the risks of tomorrow's mixed world. Pragmasophy is Prajna Yajna. Please subscribe to my channel and visit my website if you are interested in more explorations into actionable knowledge and systemic thinking. Thank you and thank you very much.